How to flickshot in Call of Duty Mobile. It's your boy Tigon. I'm back at it again with another video. I don't think that's my intro, but whatever. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you guys can see, I am holding my device, and that's simply because my webcam broke, so I'm using my DLSR. Anyway, let's get into the video, and yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks, and also show you the process I go about for flickshotting. So tip number one, make sure you use a sniper that's good for it, and that's going to be something like the DLQ33 or the Locust. And the next thing you're going to want to make sure you do is make sure you're using speed acceleration. It just makes it 10 times easier. Now, yes, you can definitely go ahead and do this if you're using fixed speed, but speed acceleration definitely makes it easier. Now, if we go here to controls, one thing I do want to mention, well, not controls, it does also make it easier if you use tap and hold. Now, I use hybrid ADS, and I'm really used to tap now, but hybrid allows me to do both tap and hold, and to you know, I guess tap. So it just makes it a bit easier for flickshotting. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my process to go about flickshotting. And so let's go ahead, head into the practice range real quick and get into it. Now I'm gonna turn down my legato sound just a little bit because that thing does get pretty loud. But as you guys can see from the intro clips, you want to pretty much know where your person is. Don't just randomly flickshot. But here's the process essentially. So right here, right, you look at your target. So let's say my target is that thing right there. You know where it is, and it's 90% muscle memory and getting down that speed acceleration. So you definitely don't want to have your speed acceleration so high, and I don't recommend copying my settings, but this is kind of how it's gonna look. You want to make a fast, quick movement, and within that movement you want to hit the scope button and then hit the fire button. Now, a quick flick shot is different from a drag scope. This is a drag scope like that, right? Like something like that. That's more so a drag scope when you're kind of often just fixing it. Let's say an enemy slides down and then jumps to that angle. So as you guys can see, they're completely away from me. Now I could go ahead and turn like this, but it could be a way more devastating position, like they've jumped to this side, right, and I can barely see them. So this is how I would go about hitting a flick shot, like this, something like that, like that. Now I will definitely say it's easier to flick shot if you're using tap and hold like that, and when you just kind of release when you get on them. But this is somewhat what the process looks like. Now I would definitely say, once again, it's about a 70% chance you're gonna hit that, but if that's the only shot you have, that's what you're gonna want to go ahead and do. So let's see if we can hit it again. And we accidentally got one of those. Especially aim assist is definitely gonna help you with this, but as you guys can see, once you practice it, it makes it much easier, because when I was just doing it cold turkey without doing it before, it was a bit harder. But the more you do it, the more practice you get, the easier it's going to be. So definitely go to the training range and just practice, I would say, hitting people right here, because not somewhere in this area, because 90% of the time you're going to want to flick shot when someone's almost about to leave your blind spot, and you can hit some pretty cool shots like that. Now, one thing I will definitely say, you're going to want to flick shot lots of times when you're in movement battles, and a movement battle is simply a battle you're in where you're just kind of doing movement. So you know how Fortnite has the building mechanic, COD, I would say, has a nice movement mechanic, and in that movement mechanic, let's say at a point you're in a compromising position, the other person is about to take you out. So let's say they're over here, right? I'm the enemy, and I'm going ahead, and let's say you're that plant. I'm about to jump, and well, dang it. Sorry, my joystick button is kind of weird. But I'm gonna jump, and then I'm gonna hit the shot right there. Or let's say I'm using an AR, especially, it's gonna be way harder. But I'm jumping, end up spraying you like this. Well, if I'm here, I'm gonna want to hit you on your descent from that jump if I'm going ahead and doing a flick shot. So you're right there, I know you're about to land right there, and you're gonna almost end up in my blind spot. At that point, I want to go ahead and hit that flick shot right there. Now once again, it's pure muscle memory, and my flick shot's probably going to be a little off because I am playing 6-finger and I just haven't played like that for a while, so my aim and my movement, it's not calibrated to what it needs to be, simply because this is my 8-finger HUD. But essentially, that's kind of what you're going to want to do. So I would say probably about, I don't know, 10 minutes a day, just do a little bit of flickshot practice. It doesn't have to be too much because you naturally are going to build that muscle memory by playing the game anyway. So you only need like a little bit of targeted practice to flick shots, but practice on those moving targets like that, just practice going in and hitting them. Now you are definitely gonna have to choose which one you want to use, because you can, if you use tap, it's different, and if you use hold, it's different. So depending on the one, which one you use, it's gonna be a bit different. And definitely if you use hybrid ADS, pick one to flick shot with. The best one I would say flick shotting will be easiest with is holding. One thing I definitely like to do is slide around the corner and then hold and then flick up, because it just makes it way easier for your brain, or at least my brain, to calculate. But let's go ahead and get into some matches and let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Anyway, hopefully our teammates don't kill everyone, but let's go ahead and see if I can get some nice flick shots on, and yeah. Oh my goodness, they just destroyed me. Anyway, let's see if I can get a better angle. Remember, aim assist is your friend in this. That's one. See, we hit that right there. Now, once again, this is going to be definitely kind of weird for me, because this is not how I normally play. I play flat, at least for now. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's see if we can find another enemy, because we do have to go ahead and execute a kill. That is one of the downfalls about flickshotting. You're gonna only want to do it when you're in a compromising position, because you could end up getting a hit marker and you've already wasted your shot. So it's not always good to use, but when you can hit a sweet one off, it is pretty clean. So there we go. Kind of just want to put them in a spot where you're good with the flick shot. So let's say you're better at flicking to the left or flicking to the right that you practice with. Once they end up going into that blind spot, that's when you want to hit them. See, right there. Let's see if we can hit another one. Well, dang it, he can't end up moving up. I've only hit a 270 once, like someone like all the way back there. It is really hard, but I mean, the more you practice, the more you're gonna get it. And remember, no matter how much you practice, it's still pretty much a 70% chance. And that's simply because, you know, you're not really seeing them. And it's not something you're gonna necessarily want to practice too much. Remember, as I said, just do some practice towards it, because how should I say, it's only a 70% chance. It's not guaranteed, and you only want to do it when you are compromised. But let's see if we can hit another one. But I guess I'm really used to it, one, because of my high sensitivity, and that's how I played for a while. But goodness, these bots ended up destroying me. But as you guys can see, that's kind of how I would use it. Once again, it's a tool in your tool bag of snipes, or ways you can snipe. You don't want to use it all the time, but when you do, when it's there, I mean, when you do need to use it, it's there essentially. So normally you would, of course, hard scope, you need a hard scope, quick scope, you need a quick scope, and of course I'm missing lots of shots, but hopefully I explained it pretty well. Simply do maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes of practice every day, just practicing that one side in training mode. I'm serious, you do not need to practice this too much, because it's pure muscle memory, and you get that just from playing. But I would say the main thing is you need to look for when you can go ahead and do that, because looking for those prime moments to go ahead and hit that flick shot is what's going to allow it to hit. The best times to hit it is when someone's jumping and they're on their descent, or essentially when they're in a compromising position to go ahead and get you. So for example, let's say someone's trying to move behind you or anywhere in your blind spot, they usually are going to end up in a compromising position. And a compromising position is something like when someone's reloading, when they're crouched, when they're prone. It's a lot harder to flick shot someone when they're prone, but I mean, it depends really. But essentially, they're in a place where they cannot move well. And one great way to hit someone is if they're jumping up and trying to get behind you. So because if they're jumping up and trying to transfer themselves to your blind spot, then they can't really move. They're not going to be able to slide right after they get down, because you've already in a movement battle and they've been fatigued. Well, their character has. But hopefully that made sense. If it did, go ahead and leave a like, and if this helps you, subscribe. But this has been my video, and it's been a while since I did a video like this. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Peace.